Coming up on NTTV News at noon, 2 police officers are recovering today after being shot during last night's protest.
And the Secret Service just can't catch a break. Find out what happened that's led to 2 senior agents getting transferred.
NTTV News at noon starts now.
Thanks for joining us on NTTV News at noon. I'm Sophia Constantine.
And I'm Lillian Sogar. The 2 police officers that were shot last night during the Ferguson protest have been released from the hospital. Neither of the officers were with the Ferguson Police Department, but they were there to help the city keep an eye on demonstrators. Andrew Spencer has the details. Police have not made any arrests in the shootings, but have stated that they have a lead on who the suspect may be.
The Secret Service is under scrutiny again today after 2 senior agents are accused of crashing a government car into a White House barricade after a night of drinking. Sulan Sarfati reports that one of the agents was a member of the president's protective detail. Secret Service spokesman Robert Habeck said the investigation has been turned over to the Department of Homeland Security's Inspector General's office. A school in New Mexico closed yesterday after a student reported seeing something that looked dangerous in another student's backpack. School officials said they thought they were looking for something that looked like a syringe, but when they looked into the backpack, they found a pipe bomb. The school police officer called the local sheriff's office, who came in and dismantled the bomb. The student is being charged with negligent use of an explosive and is being referred to the Juvenile Assessment and Reporting Program.
Kids can get referrals, additional help, maybe they'll go to counseling. So it's a service that's helping kids stay out of the juvenile probation system, but get help with their risky behavior.
School officials have also suspended the student for no more than 10 days.
Well, it was a little cool this morning, but it sure has warmed up.
You know, this is definitely the weather we've seen in the past few weeks, and I'm really hoping it's here to stay. Let's move to weather anchor Lexi Rodriguez for a better look. Lexi?
Thanks, Lexi. Paradise certainly won't feel like paradise today. The National Weather Service has issued a blizzard warning for Hawaii's Big Island. Meteorologists are predicting between 5 and 8 inches of snow and say that ice, freezing fog, and strong winds are possible. The blizzard warning runs through tonight.
Don't plan on bringing your selfie stick with you to certain art museums. The New York Museum of Modern Art and the Washington, D.C. National Gallery have joined a group of museums, including the Fort Worth Museum of Modern Art, that have banned the popular item. The reason selfie sticks are banned is to make sure that the sticks do not damage any of the exhibits.
Coming up after the break, the verdict is in for the Super Bowl trial.
And could Texas be the 3rd state to ignore daylight savings time? We'll have the story after the break.
We'll be right back.
Officials say an irrational dispute over parking could have been why 3 Muslim students were found shot and killed in North Carolina Tuesday night. However, the brother of one of the victims believes there's more to the story.
It could particularly be based around the parking spot, but the hate and the anger and the rage was not. If it has come to it where 3 amazing lives are taken from us because of a parking spot, then we are in a more desperate state than I guess any of us have ever thought we would be, but we're not there, and this is why I'm telling you this is not over a parking spot.
Police are investigating whether the incident was a hate crime. There is a suspect in custody, and they have been charged with murder.
In the wake of a ban on texting while driving, some Denton residents are unhappy with another possible restriction, a comprehensive smoking ban. In 2012, the city of Denton enacted a smoking ban that exempted bars as long as they didn't allow minors. But this time around, they are looking to extend the ban to include bars, angering many owners. Though the ban would still allow smoking on bar patios, many owners are concerned that the ban will put them out of business. The City Council is also considering whether to ban the sale of e-cigarettes to minors and to include a ban on e-cigarettes wherever other smoking is banned. The City Council is not expected to vote on the matter until March 3rd or later. With more than 100 inches of snow, one family in Massachusetts has come up with a creative way to use it. The McGaff family in Roslindale built an igloo after a blizzard in January. But instead of watching it slowly melt, more snow has fallen, and they have been adding onto it ever since. Now the igloo has 4 rooms and can hold up to 30 people. Mr. McGaff says he plans to tear it down before the igloo gets too unstable to have people inside.
I think there's a lot of irrational fear about Ebola spreading in the United States.
An Ebola survivor says, "Don't worry, we will have tonight's update on the Ebola situation. UNT students go shopping for the holidays and the stores come to them. And we have one of the spookiest places in Denton to get you in the mood for Halloween."
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is NTTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on NTTV Nightly News. I'm Taylor Lindholm.
And I'm Corinne Hairston. As the nation continues to follow the Ebola virus situation, both here in Dallas and across the country, the blame game is also continuing. Tonight, one Texas hospital is fighting for its reputation, while two nurses are fighting for their lives. NTTV's news director, Blaine Skiles, has the story. And late this afternoon came word of another possible Ebola case, this one in Lubbock. An area has been blocked off as officials remove dogs from the house of the patient. The medical protocol for this patient will be somewhat different than what was used at Texas Health Presbyterian Dallas. Nurses will work in pairs, suiting up in protective gear in a special room before working with the patient. The hospital is waiting to hear from the state whether to test for the Ebola virus. If the test is performed, it can take up to 48 hours for the results. Meanwhile, the patient is in isolation. Taylor, back to you.
Thanks, Corinne. Meanwhile, Ebola survivor Dr. Kent Brantley says it is important to put this situation into perspective.
Do you worry about Ebola spreading in the U.S.?
I think there's a lot of irrational fear about Ebola spreading in the United States. If we think about what we've seen so far, we had one man who came from Liberia, contracted the disease there, came to America and got sick here. And now who else has gotten sick from him? It's two healthcare workers who were taking intimate care of him, cleaning up his bodily secretions, dealing with his blood and medical procedures. Those are the two people who have gotten sick.
Overall, Dr. Brantley encourages the nation to remain calm as our healthcare system deals with the Ebola virus accordingly. Today in Chicago, the O'Hare Airport began screening passengers for the Ebola virus. Specially trained border agents are using non-contact thermometers to check their temperatures. Passengers arriving at the airport support the safety measure.
I'm coming from South America, and I'm just not worried about it. Otherwise, you never get on a plane.
Well, obviously, it's a big problem, but, I hope people are doing the right thing. People are learning as they're going along, obviously.
Ebola screenings also began today in Newark, Atlanta Hartsfield, and Washington Dulles airports. U.S. Customs estimate about 150 people fly to the United States from or through Liberia, Sierra Leone, or Guinea. With the Ebola outbreak catching everyone off guard, a change in strategy in the fight against the disease is in the works, and it comes straight out of a sci-fi movie. A hospital in Virginia has two robots who clean and kill germs. But these aren't just any robots. They go by the names of Albert and Annie, and they use ultraviolet rays to search and blow up viruses and bacteria. Once a patient is discharged, the dynamic duo goes to work, and the staff says they actually work.
As we've tracked our reduction in infections, we have actually seen that the more we use the robot, the fewer infections we're getting.
But if you want to own one of these little robots, it'll cost you. These cleaning robots can cost up to $134,000.
Wow, Taylor, I don't know about you, but I am a little short on that much cash.
Me too, Corinne, but it's good when technology works in the right places.
Definitely, exactly like our weather technology. We now go to our weather anchor, Adrian Jagush, for today's First Look.
Thanks, Corinne.
Thanks, Adrian. Do you like discounts on expensive items? The UNT Department of Merchandising and Digital Retail held its 5th sample sale. The cash-only sale lasted from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and had most items for under $25, including brand name items.
We're just basically selling a lot of linens, a lot of pillows, throw pillows.
I got a Karl Lagerfeld watch, which retails for $195, but I paid $40, so I got a good deal.
All money raised during the sale will go towards travel grants for students to go to merchandising events and conferences. Coming up after the break, 3 schools in Central Texas were closed today.
And the stock market continues its wild ride. We will have the numbers later in the show.
Of the Frontier Airlines flight that transported the infected Dallas nurse have been placed on paid leave for 21 days. In a memo, the safety measure is out of the abundance of caution. 6 employees, 2 pilots, and 4 flight attendants will be monitored for any symptoms. Frontier Airlines says the aircraft has been decontaminated. However, a school district in Beldon, Texas closed down 3 campuses today. The district learned that 2 students were on the same flight as the nurse who tested positive for Ebola. Nick Delgado has details. Although parents are concerned, the district says the risk of infection is low. Well, Taylor, I'm really hoping this week is going to be just as beautiful as it was today. I love this kind of weather.
It's not too hot, it's just perfect. There's a light breeze. It's kind of like jacket weather, you know. Finally
Exactly.
came.
You get that nice balance. Adrian, do we have more of this weather in store?
Y'all, this week has been...
Thanks, Adrian. In 2 weeks, it'll be the scariest holiday of the year, Halloween. So we went around campus and asked students what they're going to dress up as. So Corinne, do you know what you're going to be this year?
I actually do. I'm going to be a police officer this year.
I'm going to be fighting crime in a different way. I'm actually going as a Power Ranger, so...
Wow, definitely capturing your youth in that one. We now go to our Seen and Heard anchor, JC Mask, and she's going to tell us an idea for something to do for Halloween. JC?
And Taylor, get your flashlights ready. It's a story that goes back nearly 90 years, and it's one that's sure to send shivers down your spine. This is the story of Goatman's Bridge. You know, guys, the scariest part wasn't even the bridge. It was when we were leaving. You know, we went to turn the car on and the battery was dead and everything was going off. The radio was going off, the security was going off, and it kind of sounded like Morse code. I think that maybe the Goatman was talking to us.
Oh no, I couldn't have that happen to me. I would have been out there freaking out.
I'm probably not going to be going back for a really long time.
I'm just glad you're back safe.
Yeah.
Well, when we come back, find out how the economy in Europe is affecting us here at home.
And one of the most popular online retailers is expanding for the holidays. Stay tuned.
The wild ride on Wall Street continues. And again, it was a down day. The Dow Jones closed at 16,117. That is down just over 24 points from yesterday, and over the past weeks, the swings have been in the triple digits, but the direction has all been down. While the U.S. economy itself is on the uptick, global fears about Ebola and a general economic slowdown in Europe seems to be the cause of the market fluctuations. It is that time of the year again. Many companies are stacking up on seasonal staff workers. And if you're looking, make sure you look into Amazon. Amazon announced Thursday that they will hire 80,000 seasonal workers this holiday season, which is 30,000 more than they hired 2 years ago. The company explains that they need extra workers for packing and shipping centers for the expected significant spike in online shopping. The National Retail Federation expects sales to be 11% more than last year.
The weather has been so beautiful today and this evening. Being on the square with some great live music sounds like a perfect idea. NTTV's Chelsea Bunkin is at UNT on the Square, where College of Music students are setting up for an unusual concert. Chelsea?
And Taylor, back to you.
Corinne, will we see you out there on the square tonight?
Taylor, you actually might. None of my teams are playing, and I always need a little entertainment, but I still enjoy my sports updates.
Lucky for us, our sports anchor Emily Arnn always has the up-to-date news on sports. Emily?
Yes, I do, Taylor. I have the latest on the Cowboys, some World Series talk, and more on Mean Green Sports after this. Stay tuned. Taylor, Corinne, back to you.
Thanks, Emily. I'll definitely be checking out all those sports this weekend. Thanks for watching NTTV Nightly News.
And before we leave you here on North Texas Television, we're going to send you back to the square for some sweet sounds of UNT music. Have a great weekend.